after that, they focus a lot less
I
on the
think we
rivalry
need.
and a lot more on the friendship. But yeah,
I think we need to establish a difference because, in my opinion, this is where these are slightly different things. There's a rivalry, but then there's just men being men, where you need to look at the context of the seven
How
deadly sins. All of them.
misogynistic of you. It's
No, but I'm
2020,
being like in the that's what I'm
Akin.
saying. In the shut up. In the context of the show, like if King was someone who actually cared about fighting, which he's not, he's
Gender
never
doesn't
been.
exist.
So shut up.
But yeah,
Can I make an honorable mention to some? I wish we had spoken about this because I just love their relationship. Flipping in Naruto, in my opinion, the best rivalry we didn't even mention. I'm not saying that's a great one, but the best one we didn't mention. Madara.
Hashirama and Madara.
oh my,
Oh my
God.
days!
Oh,
How did no one think
those
of
two
this?
Think about the way they say each other's names.
I'm in a fortress, man, I feel trapped. King of the hill, but I'm still under attack. And I feel less inside when these weapons fly. And ain't nobody got my back. Cause I feel my aggressive when I'm under pressure. I'm losing my focus, I'm missing my steps.
I was gonna say for me personally, yeah, I can't argue it too tough, but I also love Zuko. So if you give her an S, I'll be like cool. If you give it a D, I'll be like cool. Because I'm biased in it. I love Zuko, I love Avatar. So if you give it an S, I can't argue too tough, but I can't make a strong argument for it to be high up either. So I'm quite neutral here.
Like I said, I feel like if you had said Azula, then I think that would have been a discussion.
Oh yeah, that is a huge rivalry.
Sibling rivalry.
Really? No, See,
Huge
they have an amazing sibling. See, here's the thing: it's a sibling rivalry in the sense that they go, okay,
Sibling rivalry.
Why I don't
It's a
say
rivalry.
no. See, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I don't think it is, and here's my reasoning. There is never a point at which Zuko has the upper hand. The only time Zuko actually gains the upper hand with Azula is when she's lost her mind. If she was sane that day, she would have killed him. She would have.
I think there is. Do you know what? No. Do you know what? No, but do you know what the upper hand is? Do you know what the upper hand is? It's when Zuko finally learns how to redirect lightning, because Azula never had that.
No.
She had the lightning, but Zuko didn't.
No, but that's not an upper hand. Go ahead.
I mean, that was the only thing Azula had over him.
No, because
the series.
That's actually not, because if you remember every single fight that they had, for instance, there was a fight that Azula fought him. He was firebending coming at her, and she didn't throw a single elemental attack. She didn't throw lightning. She didn't throw fire. She was a better fighter than him, and he was using firebending. She was just using hand-to-hand combat, and she beat him. There was never a point in the series where his skill was on par with hers. Right, and even though he learned to redirect lightning, because of how
after he learned the fire dance from those dragons,
he did. But see, here's the thing: he learned the fire dance, and her trump card is lightning, right? But if you remember back to the fight, even when she had lost her mind, right? Zuko was like, "Oh, why aren't you going to throw lightning? Are you afraid I'm going to redirect it?" She was smart enough not to throw lightning that entire fight because she knew he would redirect it. So that's not really an advantage. She just knows not to use the attack. And up until that point, she didn't need that to beat him. So, I get that. Like, the people say, "Oh yeah, a sibling rivalry where siblings compete," but she's never competed with Zuko. When has Azula ever been like, "I need to be better than"?
No, but the thing is, wait, hold on, Solomon, with that exact argument, that literally delegitimizes Aang and Zuko, because Zuko was never on Aang's level.
No. That's why I say I was talking about ideologically, not in terms of power. I was talking ideology, and actually, no, that's not true.
I feel like
I disagree with you.
Sibling rival. What you mean? The Avatar State. When is he ever gonna beat the Avatar State?
He could never control it. Up until Aang learned to control the Avatar State, Zuko had a fair chance of beating him. In fact, he did a couple of times. Up until he learned.
As soon as his life's in danger, it's activated pretty much.
Not always.
Then
so how come he got captured by Zhao if that was the case? His life was in danger then. It's not an automatic save. He had zero control over it.
But Zuko ain't smart like that. But we've established that Zuko isn't the smartest fighter.
Zuko is Zuko is a tactical.
He was just pure instinct.
Zuko infiltrated Zhao's base as a blue spirit and single-handedly freed Aang. That you can't do that just based on. Remember when he was fighting with the freedom fighters and they made that plan to steal the food and give it to everyone? Zuko's a smart guy. Nah, you can't say that.
No, but you can't say that Zuko and his sister weren't a rivalry. Like, even the dichotomy between their parents, Zuko was his mother's favorite. She was his father's favorite. One was taught lethal force. One was inherited Iroh's way of non-violence. Like, that's the fact that he redirected away from Azula in the first place. They're opposites. There's a light and darkness there. There's one chasing this way of, we are the firebending nation, we should be dominant. And one realizes that actually, you know what, everyone deserves freedom. And it's like, my father's way isn't the way. I'm just saying that from the beginning, they were always in constant competition together. Not necessarily by choice, but even their father was like, I want to know who is the strongest from you. Even Zuko's origin story, the moment he got that burn, you can see Azula smiling that her rival had been inflicted pain upon.
Nah. You're misinterpreting events. Let me tell you why. Azula smiled because Azula's a psychopath. Because think back to it, right? Zuko, Ozai it was never a question. It was never a competition. Ozai literally said to his son, Azula was born lucky. You were lucky to be born. It was never a competition. It was always clear who the better child was.
Exactly.
Zuko was the one
barred. Again, you're looking at the Look at the Look at one who has everything.
Bro, this is what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So Zuko is chasing Azula. You're right in saying that, but Azula's never reciprocating that because she already has it. So it's not a rivalry. You get what I mean? They're not competing with each other to see who's better. Azula's already better.
Solomon.
Can
we go back to the whole
it's
Aang and
Zuko
Zuko
philosophy?
Okay.
Because I don't think, with the whole, you were kind of trying to point more to like the ideology.
Yeah.
Zuko pretty much doesn't have an ideology until the last season. It was just an obsession to fulfill his father's wishes.
No, he did. He did. It was honor over everything.
Obsession isn't.
It's more like a wild.
That's
wild
not. I don't think it's.
fire.
It was such an obsession.
Yeah, he was just trying to think.
He was trying to please his dad.
I want to be accepted by my
Yeah,
father.
that's all it was.
I want my dad to accept me. It was.
That's all it was.
And honestly, he had no feelings with Aang.
I just want my daddy.
No.
See, he didn't have any
No,
issues with
see-
Aang.
No, and that's why I say that.
No,
and that's why I say the ideologies only directly clash in the final season. But Zuko had an ideology throughout the series, and we see it. Think about it, right? I'm actually going to break down Zuko's ideology here. Zuko's ideology is honor over everything because the views of the Fire Nation are essentially right. Now, why I say that is his clear ideology is because episodes like Zuko alone show his ideology being challenged, where he has to challenge, okay, I was born the Fire Nation prince. The way the Fire Nation does things is the right way because children born into a society of war, obviously think Nazi Germany, where the propaganda teaches you that Germany is in the right. So he's of that mindset. However, internally, because he's a good person, he doesn't completely agree with it. Episodes like Zuko alone directly challenge that ideology and force him to change and develop. So while that ideology didn't directly conflict with Aang's, it was there and it was developing on the side. We watch it develop to a point, and then once his ideology had finished developing and Aang's ideology had finished developing, at the end we saw them clash, which, like I said, is not the strongest case for a rivalry, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Zuko and Azula is more worth mentioning just because it's called a sibling rivalry, but as we've established on this list, for you to be rivals, it needs to be a case of, for instance, if Zoro was just an amazing swordsman, blah, blah, all that kind of stuff, and at any moment he could just cut off Sanji's head and end everything, would you think that was a rivalry, or would you think that's just Sanji being like, yeah, like in any of these cases, because the difference in power is so great? Because again, if Zuko is firebending and fighting Azula, and she doesn't throw a single, not fire, not lightning, not nothing, and she still beats him, you want to tell me that that's a rivalry and not one just clearly stomping on the other?
The thing is, I want to interject there because you have to remember their relationship. We've established that Azula is a psychopath. I'm sorry, but Azula just psychologically was in Zuko's head.
Azula, put some respect on her name.
Azula, whatever.
Azula.
I'm not saying that they were like equals, but I think it's a stretch to say that one was far superior than the other.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was more psychologically. until Zuko was free of his dad's kind of like influence on him. He didn't really realize how strong he was. Really and truly.
No, I agree with
like
you.
Iroh kept.
No, because see, here's the thing. He got stronger after that point when he realized how strong he was and everything. And that was the point at which you could say that the power was even comparable. But at that point, Azula would still beat him. In fact, she did. The only time he actually beat her was in the final fight after she had lost her mind. And if you want to use that to say that she's stronger, then I'm sorry, you can't, because they were so close in that fight. It was such a close fight, and she had lost her mind already. And you think that if she was sane, it would have gone the same way? I'm sorry, nah. That's not it.
I mean, no, wait, Solomon, you have to remember, because you say close fight, but Azula goes into that fight wanting to kill Zuko. Zuko in that last series never had intentions to kill anyone.
Yes, he did. Even Iroh told him to kill her.
That's very different.
No, even Iroh told him to kill her. He did.
But it doesn't mean that he wanted to. It doesn't mean he was willing to.
But he was willing to. Nah.
No, he's never been. But think about it. Have you read the stuff afterwards?
Yeah, the
novels
the search, all the stuff. I've read all of that.
Yeah, it's never been like that.
If there was
the only person he's wanted to kill is Aang.
No. If there was ever a need to kill Azula, he would have. He would not have hesitated. He was complete. Even Iroh was like, "We need to put her down." Zuko was like, "Oh yeah, I know." Wait, actually, wait, no. Actually, even trying to remember that, even remembering back to why Iroh said that, Zuko was like, "Look, I think we need to put her down. I know you're going to try to stop me." And then Iroh agreed with him, and he was like, "No, we need to put her down. She's crazy." He was completely ready to kill her. Don't even.
No, but the thing is, put her down. What does that mean?
In that final fight, he had the ability to use lightning directly at her.
No, he can't. Zuko can't produce lightning. He can only redirect it.
No,
she would have had to fire it at him first.
But the thing is, she did, and he could have redirected. He was the perfect counter to her. And remember, she never learned the Iro technique of being able to redirect it. So the lightning would have been fatal.
That's actually not true, because in the novels that came after, so first of all, one, you're using the fight where she had already lost her mind as a gauge for her strength. So that's already a handicap.
She always was crazy.
No, but she was crazy, but she was composed. She wasn't seeing her mother in the mirror, all that kind of, she wasn't having a mental break. She had a mental break, so I don't think that fight is a fair gauge of her ability. Two, we actually see lightning be redirected at her in the novels. I think it's the Search Part 3. Zuko literally point blank redirects her lightning at her. She gets knocked back into a wall, and she stands right back up. So, I'm sorry, but nah.
But I don't think her craziness, her need for violence, is her being led by darkness. And Zuko, with his, I'm not saying necessity, but him trying to find an alternative route. Peace is always there's always a motif of war versus peace in anime. I can't lie.
And that makes them opposites.
Exactly.
But doesn't that make them?
I don't know,
but opposites doesn't mean rivals.
I agree, but I feel like it does add to that. It's not necessarily the same thing, but it does add to it. Like, you think about our top tier.
Like Yamaki and L.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about what we've got in A and S. Like, a lot of the times it does incorporate some sort of opposite.
Actually, let's actually look at our top tier, right? Because in all of the top tier things that we have here, they all think of each other. They all respect each other as powerful or close to equals or people. When has Azula ever even so much as acknowledged Zuko's strength? When has she ever said, "Oh wait, no, I can't"?
But you can say the same thing of Aang. Aang just feared him.
Yes, no, but that's my point. Exactly. No, wait, hold on. Fear and respect aren't too far apart, because if you fear someone, it means you know that they can put in work. She's never so much as been afraid of Zuko. No, but hold on.
Doesn't mean that they're rivals.
And I'm not arguing for Aang and Zuko, by the way. I'm not saying that Aang and Zuko is more concrete than Aang and Azula. I'm saying that neither are that concrete, right? Because when you think of Azula,
I mean,
Zuko
we can agree on that.
So what are we arguing about then?
No. I was actually going to bring this. I was going to try and bring this back, because Loki, we've gone hella off topic.
Yes.
So I think we can agree that Zuko doesn't really have a rivalry, at least that's credible when we look at the tiers. But the reason why I brought it up originally, because if I'm thinking about a rival, if I had to pick a rival for Zuko, I wouldn't go for Aang. That wouldn't be the first one in my head. That
I
too.
wouldn't. I would still go for Azula over Aang. So I would go for Aang over Azula.
I'm about to go. Super Saiyajin. Feel the fire coming off my skin. In the future, that's where I've been. So I'm about to tell y'all where the end begins. It's all black, where my kin. It's cold outside, I need to bring y'all in.